My name is Mikel Lindsaar. I'm the CEO and founder of StoreConnect. I'm joined by the amazing Paul Frasca and Michael Diamond, who I'll introduce shortly. Before we get into it, I just want to give you a bit of an introduction on what StoreConnect is so you understand what we're even talking about. StoreConnect is about launching e-commerce and point of sale on top of Salesforce. It runs on Sales Cloud, and it's a complete solution. Traditional solutions are a pain in the butt. There's hundreds or thousands of them, and it takes half your time just figuring out what you're going to buy, and you end up with a disconnected mess that looks like this. And I'm sure all of you have experienced this, either as a customer or as an owner of an e-commerce platform. You're just having to navigate a mess to get in there. It always costs more than we think. It takes longer than we promised. It has landmines everywhere, and things really need are just not built in. So you're always having to add more stuff. So what is StoreConnect Customer Commerce? It's a complete solution. So it's e-commerce, content management, point of sale, multiple storefronts in multiple regions, in multiple languages. It's rewards and loyalty. It's appointments and bookings. It's subscriptions and it's shipping, all built on top of Sales Cloud without the need for Experience Cloud or anything else. You just need one Sales Cloud license. So let's hear from this amazing StoreConnect client and partner. So we've got Paul Frasca. He's the founder of Sustainable Salons. Sustainable Salons is an innovative resource recovery program designed especially for the hair salon environment. This is a network of collectors, recyclers, manufacturers, and distributors that help to divert about 95% of waste materials from hair salons away from landfill, which is massive. It's Australia's #1 comprehensive recycling service for the hair, beauty, pet, and dermal clinic, and is expanding globally. Michael Diamond is the founder and CEO of Arcturious. We actually won the Global Partner Innovation Award in 2022 with Sustainable Salons and just won it again a couple of days ago in 2024. So very well done for that. Arcturious have done an amazing job delivering multi-cloud, lead-to-cash, operational management, and e-commerce solutions on a Salesforce, which have allowed Sustainable Salons to maximize its impact by increasing productivity through automation and driving efficient growth. Moving their reward store off Magento fully into Salesforce using StoreConnect, Customer Commerce was the next phase to consolidate the business onto Salesforce for Sustainable Salons. And so, Paul, first, we'd love to hear from customers. As a business already using Salesforce, so what challenges did you have in your existing platform that made you even look towards doing something like StoreConnect?
To paint a picture a little bit, at Sustainable Salons, we're an ecosystem. We don't just do recycling. We are heavily involved with the customers. We built a loyalty rewards program for our customer where we actually have our circularity of our waste materials that are turned into products, and then we actually sell them back into the salon, and they resell those products back to customers.
So your hair clippings could become a wig?
We literally turn the plastics into product lines. Plastic's easy, but we'll even recycle human hair.
Wow.
We make high-grade fertilizers, little packs. You sell it, goes back and you put it on your plants at home. We even have a whole range of things that we do with other materials. And again, all circularity, putting it back into the customer. So to answer your question, when it came to our e-commerce problem, where we had to go out to market, we did what every other company did. We weren't in this space. We didn't know it well. We went and looked, and there's hundreds out there, right? And we ended up sitting with Magento. We thought, okay, Magento, it's powerful, it's ready to deal with our scaling. But in the end, it wasn't customizable. And that's the real problem that we faced, is when you go with a company like that and you're a new company like us that's trying to build a complete customized customer experience, you just realize you can't work with all these players. And we had to then build all this code to try to make it work, double logins, going through this platform. And in the end, we're like, we're actually slowing down and doing a disservice to our customer. So we had to actually go out to market to find who can actually work with us and customize the product that we want. Of course, StoreConnect was who we picked. We found that through Arcturious. Arcturious really saved us in our Salesforce journey. But then when we found, of course, StoreConnect, you worked with us to customize the products we needed. And then we got a great customer experience therefore. So
yeah, awesome. And so, Michael, Arcturious has got a huge wealth of knowledge around telcos, government, everything, let's be honest. What was it about the business operations and what Sustainable were doing and what StoreConnect could bring to the party that made it make sense for you to recommend StoreConnect in and eventually just build that whole project out?
We've been working with Sustainable Salons now for about 4 years. We really went into the strategy of the business and tried to figure out why do they exist and what do they want to get out of the platform. By the time we got to the StoreConnect part of the story, we had already put Salesforce across the whole business. So, lead to cash, sales service, marketing, Experience Cloud, mobile publisher, we had apps, right? And a big problem that the team at Sustainable Salons had was the fact that we had multiple logins, disconnected customers. The loyalty journey was really central to everything that Sustainable Salons does as well. And it was a long journey to get to the point where we started looking at Magento. When I met Mikel and the team at an event in Sydney, immediately I connected the dots. The Sustainable Salons team went out to market, and this was an amazing opportunity for it involved. And what really attracted us to the platform is, one, the fact that the StoreConnect team were willing to work with us to build some extra capability onto the platform, so that points and loyalty wallet and all that kind of stuff. And more importantly, everything's on the same platform. So our customers, our loyalty, our rewards, our tax, our products, the e-commerce experience, our content, our data, everything about the customer in one place. And that was immensely powerful and really shifted the dial for the team at Sustainable Salons.
One of the things that we push at StoreConnect is customer commerce. And for those who've never heard of that term, it's probably because I came up with it, and we're pushing this quite hard now as a book that we've released. But the idea there is that a lot of traditional e-commerce products have the transaction as the core, right? StoreConnect really puts the customer at the core, and then we optimize for the customer experience as opposed to the business efficiency. And when you do that, you end up winning more happy customers, right? Because they're enjoying working with you. So on that note, because Sustainable Salons is all about the environment, customers having a place to live in, 200 years. How did StoreConnect help you bring that mission forward? Like, what is it about the platform that's actually resulted in change? Like, there's the architecture when you bought it, but what actually came about from that?
There's only one way to put it. It's customer experience, right? If you're trying to be human-centric and customer-first within a brand like us, we need to make sure it's seamless from end to end. So when our customer logs into the app, they're about to go start making purchases. So we both have a cash store and a reward store, and we need that to work seamlessly together, so the customer doesn't have to leave our environment to go pay with cash, use their reward points. You know that everyone hates that when you have to leave. And our customer right now has but prior to StoreConnect, that's what our customer did.
Right.
And we saw sales so low. We saw rewards use so low. We saw the loyalty of our customer just not performing. Ever since we moved over, we've seen a massive rise in our orders. We're seeing our customers having a good experience, and they're actually coming back to us saying, "Oh, I actually want to spend more. Can you put these products now?" We're actually adding, this year we're going to add another 50% more products onto the store just for our customer because they're having a good experience. So we're like, slowly we're going to actually turn and find a whole new revenue stream for the company because of the customer experience we're getting.
I mean, that's a pretty tough problem to have when your customers are asking you to add products so they can buy more.
Yeah. Who would have thought we would be selling toilet paper, but we're now in the toilet paper business for our
Is that
salon.
recycled as well?
No, we don't take the toilet
Not
paper.
yet. So then, Mikel, I mean, you've done this for so many companies now. And look, Sustainable wasn't like a brand new startup that had nothing there and you just put in what you wanted, right? There was obviously existing processes that were already on Magento. They already had an operational store, which, I mean, we do this with a lot of customers as well. Change is terrifying. And fundamentally, no one in the company wants to change because they know how to do their job, right? So how do you navigate that? And how do you help a company like a mature business actually navigate that change?
Yeah, it's always an interesting conversation and quite a difficult one at times. Everybody thinks they are a snowflake to a certain degree. We're all unique. We all have very complicated problems. It's the old adage of, how do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. We take complex problems. We try and understand not only what's happening today, but what's happening in the future. And then we try and break that down into small digestible chunks. And Sustainable Salons was exactly that. They had Salesforce for a long time. It kind of went off the rails a little bit. A lot of consultants or contractors that had come in and maybe not done the right things at the right times. And it's difficult. You can't just wipe it all away and start again, right? So you have to kind of re-architect this thing to a certain degree. But Sustainable Salons is probably our flagship example of this, is where we started small. We did a bit of a remediation project. And then before we knew it, we were doing field service operations. We were doing inventory management on platform. We were doing customer engagement. We were helping them launch new products to the market. And then the StoreConnect piece really just helped us string all that together as well. And I think Paul, in another session a while ago, mentioned the best part of this whole experience is that the customer, their customers, their members don't know it, don't know anything's happened. They don't know that we're using StoreConnect. They don't know that we're using some of the other platforms that are there. And I think that's an exceptional experience end to end. So again, break down your problems, work with partners to help you get there. I know it's always difficult to bring people into the business sometimes, but getting that third-party perspective and helping you break down your problems, I think is really key.
We use Salesforce and we have that challenge. You've got so many in the end moving parts, and it's like, well, which thing do you fix first? And I think we call it, in our company, I push something called the agony matrix. And that's how many times something happens that you don't like versus how bad it is, right? So if it's like really bad and it happens all the time, that's your top agony thing. Go after that. Because you really want to create a bit of a snowball, right? And that's how you get more buy-in, I guess. Paul, what benefits have you experienced as a result of now finally switching over? Like, do you have some real-world examples of where StoreConnect customer commerce is like, because of the capabilities, changed a workflow which has made it easier for a client to come in? I think you were mentioning like your point of sale thing.
Yeah, look, for us, it's what's really important is, of course, always point of sale, right? When a customer is about to use their dollar and they're going to spend it with you, we like to call it voting with your dollar, because
Nice.
they're basically, we're going to change this planet, we're going to vote with our dollar now, and it's going to be more powerful than the vote for your government. So really for us, we're getting great experiences for our customers actually using the platform, going through, making that purchase. We like to see how they exit that platform and what their experience is, so we like to rate it constantly. Getting those ratings coming through, we just still haven't today seen a bad rating come from any customer. And we've been really running this now for over a good year now, starting to see those churn of now sales going through, using the point system. Really where we're getting really excited, again, I'll go back to, if they're going to come in using points, we also want them to spend in cash, right?
Right.
And it's those cash conversions that we're seeing happening more and more. So honestly, month on month now, we're probably seeing around about 10% growth month on month in that
On the
place.
cash business.
On the cash. So
Lovely.
we're starting to realize that's now starting to really work. And then we come back to our customer on that experience. Is that annoying you that we're taking you down that journey? But no, they're getting excited to go down that journey. You're like, something's working. So one of the good examples I like to give here is when you actually do this experience and you're trying to be customer first, you always want to go back to the customer. Forget about the product you build. What have you done? You just want to know, how did you actually feel along that journey? And what are the touch points we have to fix to make this experience even better? And honestly, everyone came back to us saying, the one login is what truly changed us. That's what gave us the confidence now to stay in your platform and actually make those purchases. So we can't thank you enough for that journey. Arcturious for building it and making sure that we really brought us into the Salesforce ecosystem to allow us to feel confident. Because let's be frank, we're not businesses that are tech companies. We're just not. We're just regular businesses, startups, you could say in many words. But honestly, we're just a regular business. So what Salesforce is giving us the power to do is be tech enhanced, to feel like we're a tech company, act like a tech company without being a tech company.
Yeah, right.
And then, of course, your plugins are making that possible for us. Because honestly, we're all in the future going to be a tech business and sustainably focused, whether you like it or not. So this is where we're really finding that marriage and relationship. And I think what we're finding with StoreConnect along this journey is that you're actually really focused on that customer experience part, which I think is going to make you win over the long run. Because what we're finding with all the others, they're generic. They're focused on the customer and the checkout. They're not focused.
Transaction.
They're not focused on the customer.
Yeah.
And in the end, customer is God.
And I think that's an interesting thing, mentioned it just before. Focus on the transaction as opposed to focus on the outcome that's going to make that customer love you and want to come back.
Yeah.
We found some survey data as part of building the customer commerce brand was that 80% of CEOs believes that they deliver an exceptional customer experience, right? But 8% of their customers agree.
I was going to say, did they talk to their customer?
Right? So that's a 72%
Marketing
gap, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because then there's another thing that says that 3/4 of customers will abandon a brand they love after 3 bad experiences.
Yeah,
Right?
very true.
And a bad experience could be the checkout didn't quite work, or the product arrived a bit late, or
Yeah. How the return policy and how did it work seamlessly within the program?
could you even look up when your package is coming, or did you receive an email telling you when it's arriving?
Yep.
Michael, on the journey with Salesforce and building out these platforms, clients are, with the App Exchange and 30,000 apps, and they're really spoiled for choice.
Can be overwhelming.
How does someone navigate that? I think I guess my underlying question is, I've gotten feedback from people who we're trying to implement StoreConnect into, and they'll go, oh, we don't really want to get a partner because then we're going to have to pay that partner forever. So what's your approach to handling that objection? And then I'll ask Paul what he thinks about that problem and how you've navigated it.
Yeah, I think we've seen time and time again where we have that resistance to working with partners. And often 6 months later, we get a phone call saying, please help us.
Right.
So we really want to try and not let you have that sunk cost. From an Arcturious perspective, I should have mentioned this earlier in the earlier question, but we also have this curiosity, and it's one of our kind of core pillars, right? So strategy, empathy, curiosity, and technology. And the curiosity piece for me is being a bit of a pain in the ass and asking the right questions and understanding why you need to be there. But really, the other side of it is a one-team approach, right? So you want to work with a partner that's going to help you get enabled. I mean, we'd love to be with you for eternity, but we also know that that's not necessarily going to drive you the best outcomes, right? So we want to make sure that your team's enabled, that you have the best support possible, and when you need us, we're that safe pair of hands to help guide you, right?
Yeah, nice.
So I think starting with the strategy lens and then coming down to the actionable piece is really important.
And Paul, like you've got one admin now that runs this whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. And can I actually even start here? What's really critical for businesses like us and what we look for first and foremost with any company that's going to come and work in our software, especially space, is we're going to have, we're getting married, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're spending a lot of money. We need this done right. We don't want to be going backwards. And as Mike was saying earlier, we had our Salesforce nightmares like everyone does in the first 3 years, where everyone claims to be an expert. Everyone thinks they know what they're doing. But in the end, it's only the few that really understand the customer experience. And I'll go back to even the partnership. This is not to our own customer. This is with our partners at Build. And we get a great customer experience, first with Arcturious, then now with StoreConnect, where basically when we had a problem, they answered it. They got on the phone with us, dealt with the problem. I was remarkably astounded how fast you were fixing the problems for us. And if we went and did that with Magento or any other, you know,
We'd still be building.
not too bad. It would have been like working with Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, the response rate would have been horrible. We would have been basically delayed constantly. We wouldn't have hit the targets we wanted to get to. And, you know, you would have let everyone down. But we didn't get that with you guys. And again, that relationship is key.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Michael. You've been
Thank you very
great on stage. Thank you, everyone, for attending.